Thanks, Coach. Exactly an hour.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Just before we dig into the details of the data, firstly, well done, good workout, nice finish.
Thanks, Coach.
Want to just visit something that we talked about early in the session that we've had up on the whiteboard there, mostly for me, that I've been working on for a while. Let's go over what it says. Avari workouts are a modular, measured, multi-planular, hybrid blend of mobility, stability and strength exercises for the body, mind and spirit. And as I said to you when we talked about that real early and at pretty much the start of the session, it's taken me about 20 years to get to that small sentence. Thankfully, because there's been a lot of learning in that time and distilling what I do now into that quite what I think's a simple mission statement about Avari, which is once again on camera you can see encapsulated in these three words: energy, drive and ambition. So we shared a little bit about that, Angelo, early on, and these famous 5 vlogs that we do are little vignettes, always about something that we discussed or did or whatever during the workout. And just before we dig into the way you see that, perhaps today in terms of the context in which we talked about, me asking you just to focus more in on the mind and spirit this morning and not so much the physical. We didn't chase any high heart rate record or anything like that. We just went after the advantages of doing a workout, slowing the tempo down, the importance of not really having this one be too intense, and understand that other workouts sometimes that you're going to be needing to do needn't be intense either, unless maybe you're dealing with a little anger, in which you can use a workout to flush that. And we use this one to kind of just work on the mobility, stability and strength of the mind and spirit today.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just first of all have a look at your number.
Sure.
Let's have a look at your average.
And before I say that, what you had said in your missions, I mean, I think that's what a lot of us feel in sport or in physical fitness in general, but for you to verbalize it in that way, I think is just absolutely perfect, because I know over my 43 years on this earth, a lot of times sport or doing anything that had to do with physical fitness helps with those 3, spiritually, the mental, and the body. So I mean,
Physically,
yeah, it really, how you verbalize that is just like on point.
Thank you.
Yeah. Your question was?
Just look at your number first. So
132, not so far from last
Right.
week. 135 was last week.
Right, exactly. And with no focused intent,
Right.
you still got a good number.
Right.
So what do you put that down to? I think I know.
Quality reps. Doing, taking the time to let the exercise really hit the muscles, and doing that in a steady pace is what I think I really had it going consistently.
Consistent, yeah. Going to end range
Yeah.
and your movement is tough.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of lesson, I think, a little bit, because that's something we talked about right at the start, was just literally saying that let's slow things down and go to end range, enjoy the movement, but going to end range increases time under tension.
Right.
So it takes a bit of concentration, takes a little bit of effort in a different way from what intensity does. And sometimes when we go fairly intense, we tend to shortcut ourselves a little bit in terms of the depth or width or length or the concept of end range. We get a little lazy with that, or tend to a little when we go after intensity. So you did a great job of that. You put in a lot of effort, but the other thing that contributes to it is sequencing. And I don't know if you noticed that there was a very different sequencing today to a lot of our other sessions, which are pretty much the same.
Right.
It was slightly different, and that's a factor too. And 132 is no joke. It was a really good workout. So let's just touch on that as a concept, and how over the next 6 weeks, what we talked about. We don't need to talk about the detail of the conversation, but we just need to understand how that might change the way you work out over the next 6 weeks.
Well, as the next 6 weeks come, obviously the weather is going to change. Less heat, that BPM might not, to attain the higher BPM, it's probably going to take a little bit more because of the colder weather. And obviously I'm going to have to find ways to get my physical fitness in when it gets colder as well, because the biking and maybe the longer walks might not be as frequent or not possible, right? So I gotta to maybe find a place to walk indoors, which I do have a gym, right? So I can easily go there every morning and walk like I've been doing now. The biking, I have my indoor bicycle that I can leverage as well. So I should not let the weather be an excuse as to why I can't continue doing what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, the other thing from my perspective in the context of what you and I know coming out of this is that I want the next 6 week training block for you to be about thinking.
Yeah.
A lot of thinking and a lot of processing, and understand that movement is medicine.
Yeah.
And if you think about the concept of the mind and spirit, it's going to be a really fruitful training block for you in the next 6 weeks.
Thanks, Coach.
Best wishes.
Thank you.